Hey, old mate, hold on. You're running 7th, Gareth. Well done.
Good morning.
Morning. So, I say it like you then. On the way to Traveller's 6, you've really zoomed in on my nose. On the way to Traveller's 6 at Denby Dale, so it was 15 minutes from his front door. It's a 7.4 mile drive there. So Traveller's 6, as you might have guessed, it's not 6k, it's 6 miles, we're working miles us lot. It's a hilly course. I think I've done pretty much every Traveller's 6 I'd like to say, apart from the one a couple of years ago, because I spent the December over in Beverley for unknown reasons.
That wasn't my fault.
Yeah, so yeah, won it last year in 34:03, so we'll see how we get on today. The first mile is always your slowest and your last mile is always the quickest, mainly because the first mile is really uphill and the last mile is really downhill, pretty much vertical. So I think I split the first in 5:55 and the last in 4:55 last year. So looking for something of the same, see how we get on and see what happens. What's your plan, Naomi?
Run and not fall over.
It's not a fell race.
I know it's not, but it's really steep. Last year it was really icy, so I don't know how, if I say genuine last year's time was, because I'm quite a cautious runner. I remember it being hard, and I remember the buffet at the end being amazing. But I don't know, I don't quite remember how cautious I potentially took it. But what I've done is I've written on my hand the splits from last year, but I've written them down 10 seconds faster than I ran them last year, because that's where I think my fitness is. But with it being so hilly, I don't want to go out at a flat pace. Like normally I'd go out at a 10k and be like, oh, I want to average 6:10, but that's on a flat race. So I didn't want to set myself a target pace to then not be able to do it on the uphills. So I've written down 10 seconds faster per mile than what I did last year, and I'd be very happy at that. I think that's where my fitness is, but it all does depend on how cautious I ran last year. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. So basically, in a nutshell, if you're from town, it's not a PB course. So yeah, we'll just we'll see what happens. I think it is about 600 foot of climb. On the agenda for me today is a warm up, a race, 6 mile, and then I think I'm going to have to run home to get my miles in. The most direct way is 8 mile, but that's pretty much as the crow flies, and you wouldn't run on the road that we're going to be driving on in a minute because it's lethal. So I might have to run the long way around, and yeah, it might be about 10 mile on the way home, but we'll see. So yeah, see you in a bit, guys.
Adios.
Just running up and down at my warm up, and it's windy, very windy, compared to yesterday anyway. I did look on the weather app this morning and it said up to 35 mile an hour gusts and a southwesterly wind, which might blow us up the hill, I believe. It should be a tailwind for my way home, which is a bonus, but it should blow us, it might blow us up the hill today and then be against us on the way back down, but we'll see what could happen. It's England, isn't it, after all? So yeah, a couple mile warm up today, and then 6 mile race. It does start at 11, which is quite a late one, but I assume because it's December and it's notorious for being icy because it's December. So yeah, a late one today, so we had a bit of a lie-in this morning. Didn't get up till I think about 8 o'clock, which to say we usually up at like 6:30 every day. It's quite a lie-in for us, that, which is a bonus. Went over to Frickley Parkrun as well yesterday. Finally had his coffee with Jane, and didn't take the dogs this week, so I had a bit of a run at it. Clock 16:43, which isn't bad. It's not flat at Frickley, but they're on an alternate course at the minute, which is a little bit flatter than the original course, because you remove the zigzag path because they're resurfacing it. But yeah, it's quite a quiet little park run. I don't think they break 100 in terms of like attendance numbers, but it is very, very friendly. And there's a nice little community cafe after, so we had a bacon butty in there for £3, and now I made a little gingerbread muffin as well, which was very, very nice because I had a bit. But yeah, the community cafe just opened for the park run, so made you feel a little bit more inclined to actually use it, because then at least you know all obviously like proceeds go back into the community and into the park run indirectly as well. Warm up done. Looks a bit flat, doesn't it, in the video. Warm up done. So yeah, a couple of mile. Just got my shoes on and my kit on, and now going to go down to the start line. It's about a quarter of a mile from here. So just a nice, easy, slow, probably walk, jog down there. It's a nice little village hall. It's called Denby Dale Pie Hall. I think they open for like pints and pies. So yeah, I'm going to leave my jumper down in there. It's not that cold. It's a tropical 10 degrees with high winds today. So yeah, it's not as bleak as what it has been in previous years. So we'll see how we get on. As I mentioned earlier, 34:03 is my PB on this course. Be nice to obviously get somewhere near that, but don't want to be going all out. It's not a target race, it's just a local race called the Travellers 6. Yeah, and see what happens. Brass Monkey's obviously the target, so starting to crank the miles up, and I'll start and crank the session volume up from here on in. So yeah, just enjoying it in the week before Christmas. Well, it's a week and 1 day before Christmas. Just getting out there, getting the job done. So I'll see you in a bit, and the next time you see me, I'll have finished the race, because I'm not taking my camera with me. Even though the beautiful sights of Island and Denby Dale would like, they're just gorgeous really, aren't they, because we're in Yorkshire. So yeah, see you in a bit. just got back from Traveller's 6 in the back garden because I'm still in my running kit. So 11 mile home, did quite well today actually. So I set a course PB, made a rookie error, set off on the start line and still my run on my warm-up, so to quickly stop, save my watch whilst I'm running, instead of just pressing continue. Probably in hindsight should have just done that, and then got race underway. Yeah, so lost probably about 100 metres off my time on my Strava, but on the results it got me about 33:42 in second place. First mile or so is all uphill. Ran it quite quick, and on my my actual run, back in the house now, dogs come back in. Yeah, so on my actual run, on my watch, I went through the first mile at the marker at about 5:10. So it ended up being about 5:40 actually, on what it has on Strava. Yeah, so it set off quite well. It is all uphill, but I was 10 seconds quicker for that mile than I were in previous years. And then just a case of sitting in and holding on. The first mile and a half is uphill, that's how I treat it, and then from mile 3 to mile 4.5 is uphill. So it's just 2 1.5 mile efforts really. The rest should be downhill. Very windy on the top today, so on the way back, I think, like on your told watch, it says 9 minute. It would say 9 minute miles for current pace at one stage, because I weren't even moving, to be honest. Running with a lad who come from North Shields Polytechnic, so for about 4 mile, and then the last little bit of the second climb he just sort of dropped me, and that was that. The last mile coming downhill, couldn't turn my legs, and I was being held upright by the wind. Clocked it in around 5:08 on Strava. Last year was 4:55, so I didn't break my 5 minute mile. I'll get under it today, but yeah, enjoyable. Second place, course PB, so chuffed with that, and just happy that I had a good shot at a race. Ended up coming away with second place prize. Naomi got second place as well. She had a really good run, course PB by over like 2 minutes, so had a really good run herself. The girl that won ended up running a course record, like completely course record, so yeah, bet Naomi by about 2 minutes, so yeah, she had a good run. Sophie Wood from Manchester, if anyone knows her. But yeah, we ended up getting second place each, and then we got first place team prize, so we've ended up coming home with Beth Massey were there, but Gemma, Naomi's brought Gemma's home, and I've got, I can't remember who it was now, Charlie Skipper and Nigel Morton's box of chocolates in the car, so we've got 5 boxes of chocolates worth for the team prize, and then a box of chocolates each for finishing for second. So yeah, it's a little bit too many chocolates. Naomi, I've run home, so which it were a quarter of a mile in the other direction to the car, so Birdie gave Naomi a hand to the car. But yeah, I would have liked to have seen her walking up through Denby Dale with 7 boxes of chocolates piled up and a pair of my running shoes as well. Yeah, so Traveller's 6 all in all. Good morning out. It is 2:20 now in the afternoon. So yeah, it's consumed most of the day. And we have still got to go to the shops, so I need to jump in the shower real quick. So I'll quickly rattle through training week. So this week in training, 10 mile Monday. Went out for a curry last week with a gang, so that's why my YouTube will post a little bit late, if I'm being honest. So went out for a curry last week with a gang, and a brilliant photo in front of an I love you sign, look. Yeah, and funny story about this. We were meant to be going to Brewski, which is next door in Sheffield, and Naomi had booked it. She was dead confident, and she booked it for 12 people with 2 sit-ins. And long story short, she was emailing Brewski to book the table because it were a large party, so she had to email them. So she was emailing Brewski to book the table for us all, and she was emailing someone that she thought was called Brewski Chester. So as you can imagine, we got to the booking, 12 of us, like just been to Revolution for a drink, got there, and the gaffer were like, "Not got a Naomi booked in here, love." And Naomi were like, "You have." So she got the emails up on the phone, and she booked it for Brewski in Chester, and they take a deposit if you're a no-show. So thankfully the manager rung up and got us deposit back for being no-shows, which we were still no-shows, but not. We showed up at Sheffield and not Chester. So then we were like, could you squeeze us in? And he was like, no, can't squeeze you in. Too many of you, and we're busy, we're packed. So we ended up coming out of Brewski, and Naomi, to be fair, everyone took it quite well, and it made it a bit of a laugh. So it weren't any drama. Came out of Brewski and went into Akbar's, which is an Indian next door. So yeah, that was that. But it made a fun night out with the speed gang for us as a speed squad Christmas get together. And then anyway, Monday evening, so still had curry stomach. Went out for 5 mile, 7:20s. Felt quite good, to be honest, not too laborious. Then Tuesday morning, woke up, 4 mile, just to get the legs moving and still doubling. And then Tuesday night, track with the gang back at Dorothy Hyman. And session was 1600, which is 4 laps, 1200 3 laps, 800 2 laps, and 400 1 lap. We had 400 jog recovery in between, and then we had to do that all again. So it were 2 sets. Clocked it quite well. My pace, it were about 5:15 pace, 5:10 pace. So yeah, I was quite chuffed with that. Legs felt quite strong. I've stopped training carbon shoes as well, unless I'm racing. So yeah, I've been just wearing some New Balance Rebels. So yeah, I felt quite good for that. And then Wednesday morning, woke up, my legs were buggered. Ended up going out and doing 8.5 mile in the morning. Kai hadn't slept well, so I ended up running just on my own. Wednesday morning, not slept well, so he dodged a run in the morning, went himself in the afternoon. Then in the evening, 6.5 mile, just tootling around the streets. Was quite a nice little run. My dad had been through as well to fit some insulation on his loft hatch, so yeah, he were doing that, so I had to go a little bit later after mum and dad had left. Thursday morning, woke up, had 10 mile on the cards. Kai ended up doing 12, I believe. He just did his 10 with me, but yeah, his legs were hurting a little bit. So woke up Thursday morning, 10 miles, 7:40 pace, not too daft, not too silly. And then in the evening, second session of the week, so it was 2 by 400, 2 by 200, and then times it by 3. So keeping it nice and short. I'm just trying to keep the quality of the sessions on a Thursday short. So it was 2.25 mile worth of effort. Last week it was 2 mile. Week before it was 1.9. I will be ramping it up more and more as like the training block towards like Brass Monkey and then into the ultimate marathons in April goes on. But yeah, nice to get out and just do a mini session. Friday, stuck to my rule of 1. Just 8 mile with Kai. Nice and easy. Didn't do all too daft and just kept the pace sensible. And then Saturday, as I mentioned earlier, went to Frickley Parkrun. It is on an alternative course. So yeah, ended up running 16:43 on the alternative course, which goes down as a course record on the parkrun stuff. But in my head, it's not a course record because it's not the proper course. So yeah, I ran a mile and a half beforehand. As we mentioned, didn't take best of this week. And then 3 mile after, went in the community cafe with Jane and Naomi, and then went and did 6k when I got back home. And then this morning into Travellers, so a couple of mile, 2.25 mile before, 6 mile race, and then 11 mile warm up. I had a jumper on it, red hot. It's left me at 99.2 miles for the week. I'm not a sadist, so I'm just going to leave it at that. So yeah, that's that. That's training week. 99.22, 11 hours, 39 minutes, and 6,263 foot of climb. So yeah, enjoyed it. A couple more weeks left at year, so see how close. I'm on 4,800 miles so far, so see how close we can get it to 5,000 miles. It's just them little goals in it that I'm just going to chase in towards end of year and ramming it all in. But yeah, cheers for listening to Cookie's Rambles. Hope you've enjoyed my Travellers 6 park coverage. I'll be releasing this later when I've got some photos back from Travellers 6 to fill in some race footage as well. And there'll be some videos as well, I should imagine, that people took on course. So yeah, no real races now between now and the end of the year. Just got, I think, is it 4 parkruns we've got left, or 3 parkruns in the year. So yeah, we'll be over at Hull for one of them. So yeah, I might end up with a 5k effort at some stage, but need to be mindful. Legs need to recover and stay sharp. So yeah, cheers for listening. Just keep running, and I'll see you next week.